Where are we, Zerlina, in terms of the restructuring plans and if default risk has stabilized and the emphasis is on medium to longer term health of these property developers, where are we in this process and the terms and the conditions of that restructuring? Have they just got a lot more onerous because of the challenges?
Yeah, I think for offshore dollar bond holders of the developer bonds, the prospect is not great. This is going to be a very long, lengthy process with a lot of negotiations with the Hong Kong court as well as the onshore court. It's very hard to identify what assets are available for offshore bond holders. Even if you get a liquidation order from the Hong Kong court, it might not be recognized by the onshore court. One of the successful cases might be Sunac, but even if you look at that, the recovery rate is definitely below 30%, and the dollar bonds are still trading at 10 cents. So I think for a lot of the investors, if you still hold Chinese developer dollar bonds, you might need to think about offload the positions, your legacy positions, maybe if there's a rally. So I think most of the investors are looking at a recovery rate of below 20 to 25%, and it really depends on the quality of the land bank of the developer, willingness to pay, and the connection with the local and central government.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with China Vanke if they do really come to the rescue, because this is quite a rare move by the authorities, it seems. I want to get back to your point about how you see it sort of differently to HSBC, because they're suggesting that the challenges will persist for some quarters and perhaps even a year or a couple. Then if you are looking at a sort of more bearish view, how long do you anticipate we could continue to see these problems? How long will that transition be? And in the meantime, what do you actually think needs to be done?
So I think if you look at this year's GDP growth, the street has been very bearish. They don't think it will hit the 5%, but we are slightly positive for this year because the fiscal support is really there. The government does have the will to meet the 5% target. Otherwise, it's politically not very desirable. However, what we're looking at is the medium-term issue. So talking about 5 years beyond, in China, it's not just a property issue. There's an aging population, there's youth unemployment, there's the lack of innovation and entrepreneurship, and then decentralized government policy. So I think all these issues are not really addressed by the government at the moment because they're busy with the property sector. If you look at the property sales from last year, we're back to 2016 level. I would say if you look at the supply-demand point of view, of the past 2 years, we haven't really seen that much of new home supplies coming out to the market. So in 2 to 3 years, we might be reaching the equilibrium point of about 2016 level. But would that be enough for the China growth? I think it's not enough. So the government needs to find a new growth driver.